In the city of Uruk, there was a king whose fame reached the heavens, Gilgamesh, 2/3 divine and 1/3 human. He was the greatest of men, but his heart was restless and full of pride. Gilgamesh was mighty in battle, a builder of towering walls, and a hero who feared no enemy. Yet, his people feared him, for he was harsh and unyielding, causing unrest among the citizens of Uruk. The gods, hearing the cries of the people, decided to create a balance for Gilgamesh, a companion who would be his equal in strength and challenge his arrogance. Thus they created Enkidu, a wild man born of clay, covered in hair, and living among the animals in the wilderness. Enkidu, at first, knew nothing of human life. He ran with the gazelles, drank from the rivers, and protected the animals from hunters. Word of this wild man reached Gilgamesh, who sent a temple priestess, Shamhat, to tame Enkidu. When Shamhat found Enkidu, she seduced him, drawing him away from his wild nature. After 7 days of companionship with Shamhat, Enkidu found himself transformed. He could no longer live with the animals, for they now feared him. Shamhat, wise in the ways of civilization, brought him to Uruk, where Enkidu encountered Gilgamesh. When Enkidu entered the city, he heard of Gilgamesh's cruel ways and sought to stop him. The two mighty men met in a fierce battle in the streets of Uruk. The clash of their strength was so great that the walls trembled, but neither could overpower the other, and in the end, they stopped, realizing they were equals. Gilgamesh, for the first time, found a true friend in Enkidu. The bond between them grew strong, and together they embarked on great adventures. Gilgamesh's restless heart longed for glory, and he proposed a journey to the cedar forest, home to the fearsome demon Humbaba, a guardian appointed by the god Enlil. Gilgamesh and Enkidu set out for the cedar forest, determined to defeat Humbaba and earn eternal fame. Along the way, they sought blessings from the sun god Shamash, who promised his protection. The journey was perilous, but the two heroes pressed forward, relying on each other's strength. When they reached the cedar forest, they confronted Humbaba, a giant whose roar shook the heavens. Humbaba pleaded for his life, but Gilgamesh, driven by ambition, ignored Enkidu's warnings and struck the final blow, decapitating the guardian. As the two heroes stood victorious, the gods grew angry at their defiance. Humbaba's death was a sacrilege, and the gods would soon make them pay. Upon their return to Uruk, Gilgamesh's fame spread throughout the land. The goddess Ishtar, impressed by Gilgamesh's strength, desired him as her consort. But Gilgamesh, aware of her fickle nature, rejected her advances, mocking her for her many failed lovers. Furious at his scorn, Ishtar ascended to the heavens and demanded revenge from her father, Anu, the god of the sky. In response, Anu sent the bull of heaven to punish Gilgamesh and his city. The earth quaked, and the bull's breath scorched the land. But once again, Gilgamesh and Enkidu fought side by side. Together they slayed the bull, further enraging the gods. The gods had had enough. For their defiance in killing Humbaba and the bull of heaven, they decreed that one of the two heroes must die. They chose Enkidu. Struck by illness, Enkidu lay in bed, cursing the day he was brought into the world of men. His dreams were haunted by visions of the underworld, a dark and dreary place where all souls were bound. Despite Gilgamesh's attempts to save him, Enkidu's fate was sealed. He died after a slow, painful illness, leaving Gilgamesh heartbroken and filled with despair. The loss of his closest companion awakened a new fear in Gilgamesh, the fear of his own mortality. Haunted by the reality of death, Gilgamesh could not rest. He set out on a journey to find the secret of immortality. His quest led him far beyond the boundaries of his kingdom, across perilous mountains and through the scorching deserts, to find Utnapishtim, the immortal man who survived the Great Flood. After a grueling journey, Gilgamesh finally found Utnapishtim, who told him the story of how the gods had once decided to destroy humanity with a great flood. Utnapishtim and his family were the only survivors, saved by the god Ea, who instructed him to build an ark. When the floodwaters receded, the gods granted Utnapishtim and his wife eternal life as a reward for their piety. But Utnapishtim warned Gilgamesh that immortality was a gift only for the gods. Still, he offered Gilgamesh a challenge. If he could stay awake for 7 days, he might earn the secret to everlasting life. Exhausted from his journey, Gilgamesh quickly fell asleep, failing the test. Upon waking, Utnapishtim's wife baked loaves of bread to show Gilgamesh how many days had passed. Despite his failure, Utnapishtim took pity on him and revealed the location of a plant that could restore youth. With renewed hope, Gilgamesh retrieved the plant from the bottom of the sea. But as he journeyed back to Uruk, a serpent stole the plant while he bathed, shedding its skin and slithering away. Gilgamesh's last hope for immortality was gone, leaving him desolate. He returned to Uruk, wiser but still mortal. Standing atop the city walls, Gilgamesh realized that though he could not live forever, his legacy would. The great city he had built, the stories of his adventures, and the bonds he had forged with his people and Enkidu, these would endure long after he was gone. In the end, Gilgamesh learned that true immortality lay not in eternal life, but in the lasting impact one has on the world. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.